All right, welcome to another edition of Catching Up with the Cats presented by Atrium Health. Joining us today, Director of Men's Track and Field and Cross Country, Renny Waldron. Coach, how's it going?
It's going well. Welcome to my home office, which is also part of my guest bedroom. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I think the probably the biggest thing about working from home has been you have to keep your surroundings at home now as clean as we do our offices.
Yep,
So,
that's true. I probably keep it cleaner.
yeah. So you have most of the guys back on campus now. How did the summer go for them on the training front?
So we've had a week of practices. We haven't gotten fully into the swing of things, but we've been pleasantly surprised. I mean, our Davidson student athletes constantly make us proud and constantly impress us, and they really did well, I thought, over the break, and actually in much better shape than I think anyone could have possibly expected, which is nice. I think our Davidson students are really making the best of the situation.
Yeah, that's good. You lost your spring track season, so that was a huge hit for them, especially after all the momentum you guys had in indoor. What's the outlook look like for the fall, and what are your plans for approaching it?
Going back to the spring, it was really tough to not have that season, especially coming off of a great indoor season where we got fourth, as program high finish in the A10, and building off the momentum. I think yes, not having outdoor season was tough, but the guys are not deterred, and I think that if anything, we're training harder and knowing that it's gonna be that much sweeter when we do get back. This fall is a little bit tough because competitions have been postponed to the spring, but we are planning as is. I mean, we know that kind of our philosophy in the distance side and mid-distance side of things for the cross country guys is that we're never more than 6 weeks away or so from really PRing. So if we do that anaerobic work and we start to put in that faster stuff, so we're really building up the base for that. And some of our guys are gotten up their mileage. We have some guys who are doing 90 miles a week right now, which is phenomenal, right? Just great. And they've really been able to use this time at home to train well and get out the runs. And I think really getting out for that physical exercise and training too has been just as important to their mental health as it has been to their physical health. But I would say, there are differences in the sport, right? So if you're a distance runner and you're able to go do your mileage, that's one thing. You can do that at home. Whereas for the speed and power events, it's really crucial to them to have access to a weight room. That's been a little bit tougher.
Yeah, absolutely.
But our strength and conditioning coaches have done a great job, and we've the coaching staff has done a great job of making the best of it. So they're doing a lot of body weight stuff, and they haven't been able to do their Olympic lifts like normal, but we've had to make do with what we have. So overall, I think we're in a pretty good shape, and I think that the guys are really they're happy to be back right now, and we're making the best of it. I think they're going to be really happy when we're able to go to full practice schedule and start training. And then we're going to do a lot of things that are going to be fun here. To keep the guys focused, and we're going to have some time trials and kind of a little mini mock track meet in October and in November, like some inter-squad scrimmage stuff. So that'll be something to look forward to. I know some of the guys are just itching to compete. So yeah, we're going to make it fun.
Will you allow some guys to do some off events, or are you keeping it as stable as possible?
We'll see. I know that some of the guys have volunteered for other events, but I'm not so sure we're going to put our throwers in the 2 mile just yet. So.
Absolutely. You alluded to earlier a great indoor championship, the best placing among your A10 finishes in indoor championships. It was a fairly young roster, so that's got to give you some hope. And then talk some about your recruiting and what we can look forward to in the future.
Yeah. That indoor championship is so exciting, and in the A10, it is, it's really close, between a fourth and, an eighth place team can, in some years, only be 20 points. And we are a young team. We had a lot of great finishes, and the younger guys just really impressed. I thought Bryce Anthony had a phenomenal indoor season, and the championship went so well with him. A couple of second place finishes, school records. We know that we're going to be getting better and better. More points are going to be scored in the coming years. And, I think we're all looking forward to that. We do have a good recruiting class. It's a smaller recruiting class than years past. It goes in waves, so we have, 2 years ago we had 16 kids, 12 kids. This year we brought in 5 newcomers. So I'll just go off that list right there. So Henry Griffith is a good distance runner, added to our cross country team, and he'll be running the 3K and 5K indoors and 5K and eventually 10K outdoors. We have Isaac Bynum, great hurdler. He's going to be joining a really, really good squad, probably the best hurdle squad, I think, in the conference. So, yeah, he's going to run short and long hurdles. We have 2 excellent sprinters, some of the best sprinting recruits that we've had in the history of the school. Josh Harden, state champ in the 400. He's run 47.9 in the 400. And then Chinadu Okiki, who is just if you see him, this kid is one of the strongest kids I've seen incoming to Davidson. He's a really good short sprinter. He won Eastern States indoors in the 55 and ran 6.42. He's going to be a major factor in the conference. And then in the throws, we have Jack Stajos, who is going to be making an immediate impact in the A10 and add to our growing throws crew. So we're really excited to have those guys. Right now, recruiting is going well. We've gotten a couple commits, and I think we're going to have a lot more in the next month. So we might be done actually recruiting, pretty early in the fall. It's been a lot different this year. And anyone who's been at Davidson knows how beautiful our campus is, and that's such a seller every year. And we have high school nationals in Greensboro, so we usually have a lot of recruits come over to Davidson and see our campus. And then, so our biggest sellers really are our campus, I think, and then the guys on the team, right? And the students who are here. It really sells that community and all the things that us as coaches will be telling the recruits in the early stages of recruiting. Then when they come to visit the campus, it all gets backed up, right? And they see it for themselves. This year it's really different. NCAA dead period. We can't have anybody visit the campus, and we can't be doing home visits either. So it's been tough. Everything's been all over Zoom, but we've managed. We've done really well. I think one of the great things about being at a smaller school where you have a sense of community is that if we need a professor to talk to a recruit, that professor is always willing to do so and is successful. And so that we've really been we're further along in recruiting than I thought we would be in this year. And that's been great. So we're in a pretty good place. It's totally different. It's a totally different field than, doing all our recruiting over Zoom sessions, but it's been going well. My heart breaks for the recruits, to go through this process, not being able to have an outdoor season, and then also to not be able to take their official visits this fall is really tough.
Yeah, one thing I noticed about you talking about your incoming class that's here right now and the future, and then you talk about some of the guys from last year, Bryce, Jordan Benson, some of the sprinters you brought in. You've kind of shifted the team from what was probably 10 or 20 years ago, a very distance-heavy track program, to a very well-rounded team now that can place in the top 5 consistently in the A10. Kind of talk about how your philosophy has kind of changed within the program.
Yeah. Well, historically, I think we have been more of a distance program. And that's also because I think, we didn't have, as many coaching staff members and the resources. Now we really have been able to have a complete track and field team, and that's our goal, is to be on the podium in all 3 seasons. Doesn't mean we want to ignore the distance side at all. And I think if you look at our guys, I mean, we had some pretty good freshmen this past year, right? And Joe DeSrees, state champion cross country, ran 4:12, 3:54 in 1500, which is about a 4:12 mile. Owen Drometer, 3:55. Both Owen and Joe were top 10 in the country at nationals in the mile in high school and outdoor nationals. And Jack McMahon, great cross country runner, was actually second to Joe in cross country. And he was top 10 in the country in the 5K. He ran 14:41 indoors in the 5K, which is about as, I think that I'm checking with Gary on that, but I think it's the fastest freshman time ever for a Davidson kid. And Owen ran 4:12 indoors this year in the mile, which is, I mean, these guys are pretty good. Ben Gordon Sniffen ran 2:28 in the 1,000, and he's improved. He would have had a great outdoor season too. We're pretty deep in the distance events and mid-distance events, and we want to keep adding to that. But we do want to have a complete track and field team. And so each year we're looking at, bringing in people in all of the events that can make an immediate impact in A10. It's really important that we have that team that is able to field people in every event. We're not going to be in the top 5 if we don't. And it's also great for team chemistry too. There's never a dull moment at these track meets where we always are having someone compete in each event. And it's, especially when it comes down to the end of the meet and we're all cheering there, at conference, we're all cheering there 4x8, 4x4 at the end of the meet. And like, I was talking with our coaching staff, and they're saying, like, this is what it's all about. This is, we've gotten to that point where we, this matters right now. We're at the end of the 2 days, and it was a really tight battle for fourth. The relays mattered, and we're going every point. It's so exciting, and the team is so excited about that, and so it's great to have that now, and I think we're never going to look back. So just keep getting better there.
Yeah, it's great on that Sunday when you can have, your distance guys that are competing on Sunday. They're cheering for maybe a thrower or the throwers and jumpers out there, cheering on the 4x8 at the end of the meet. When it matters, it matters for everybody.
Yeah. And that they are friends on the track and they're friends off the track. Like, we have guys that are sprinters rooming with distance runners and so on. And that's a pretty cool thing. Actually, I was talking to one of our throwers this week who said he actually was in a recruiting Zoom meeting talking to some of the guys, and you're saying, like, when you get to dining commons, one of the great things about being in the track and field team is that there's always a home in the cafeteria, right? There's always a place there with the Davidson student athletes and on the track and field teams. And that's pretty cool. So yeah, one of the joys about being on a team, you always have friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Coach, it's been great catching up with you. I hope everything's going well, and good luck the rest of the way.
All right. Thanks for having me.
This has been another edition of Catching Up with the Cats with Director of Men's Track and Field Cross Country, Renny Waldron, presented by Atrium Health.